You're watching Septum Sen versus the World. I'm Septum Sen. I'm here with Kotobuki Jake, and we're here to inform you about what we got. But I'm not showing the clip. I'm doing you a favor. I'm not showing the clip.
Just know what we got.
You already know it. Yeah. You saw the picture when you clicked on it.
Yes.
But I kept one thing deliberately off.
Yes.
Because I want to keep you in suspense. Maybe you'll watch to the end of the video.
Yeah.
Nah, they're not going to do it. Well,
You might learn something.
So we thought about trying to up a little bit on our game this week when it comes to things like what we've been doing. So a little watching, what we're watching, and then or reading, and then what we've completed for the week. Because completed, you've got a full idea. Watching, you're just enjoying it as they go.
Right.
I'm trying to think if there's anything new for the site. Of course, we're launching. My wife and I are launching our site. We've been working on it, and once it's up and running fully, I'll be linking to it.
Good deal.
So you need to get to there once we do that. Other than that, not much else, because the other two are going to come up in the comments. When the other two things we've been doing as compilations are going to probably come up when we talk about what we watched.
Okay.
So, what have you been watching?
Oh, okay.
Is it easier that we have a list?
Yeah, well, I think so. So we're, I guess we'll start with incomplete thus far. It's kind of funny because the two anime I'm watching, I think I have 4 episodes left on both series.
So hopefully by next time.
I'm finally in the end zone with Nadia, the Secret of Blue Water, and with Skip Beat. And I'm very much enjoying revisiting Skip Beat and very much dreading. He's been telling me for a while how abrupt the cutoff is. And I'm already feeling nerd rage bubbling up over hell.
I feel like they rounded it out a little bit, but still,
Right.
it to me it was still abrupt.
One of the things I've also been working on is the manga. I finished volume 40 this week, and there's just so much story left to tell. They really need a sequel for the anime. But anyway, I also continued on with Fruits Basket, and I came very close to the end of what they actually turned into an anime. It's another series where they really need to revisit. And I'm currently working on reading through the new book from Stephen King, The Outsider. And it's a weird, strange, dark book so far, but it's interesting. Yeah. You know, it really is interesting.
Well, yeah, my list of what I am continuing to go through is very short. 2 series that I am watching. I haven't watched a single episode in the week, so I'm not really watching it right now.
I could say that as well about some of the ones I'm watching.
But I am rewatching the series Reborn, which is a cute little series.
Reborn!
And it is completed. It's on Hulu, and it's something that I can watch when I'm out of YouTube videos. So I'm enjoying that, revisiting what I have, and then eventually I'm going to get into new territory.
Do you run out of YouTube videos?
I know, it's hard to believe.
It is.
I'm also reading the Skip Beat manga. He's already at the very end of where it is here in the States. I'm halfway through it. I have read a good portion of it, but I'm getting to the point where I feel like they probably could have ended the anime. I think that they probably could have ended it one or two more storylines over and had a fairly clean break. But again, it is fun, worth reading. So let's talk about what we've...
That was one thing we could have said on the other video for upcoming.
Yeah.
I know Right Stuff added volume 41 to their list this week, so that's
that's coming out in
September,
the
I
fall.
think it is.
Yeah. I've already got it pre-ordered, so...
Okay.
Hopefully by then I'll have got caught up.
Yeah.
So
last week...
finished.
Last week, let's do a little plug here, like he was saying, for other projects. We participated in a conversation with Inside Movies Galore, and in preparation for that, I had watched Slime City. That's all I have to say about that. You can
Hey, we can watch that, but I also finished a review of Slime City.
Ah.
That entire set that I have, the Blu-ray set. So that's Slime City, Slime City Massacre, and the rest. As they say in Gilligan's Island.
And definitely feel free to check out. I think you probably have a link to that, or you're going to at the very least
the discussion
the
that
discussion,
we did.
yeah.
And
it wasn't quite as lively as the previous weeks, but it was still pretty interesting. And then last night, I visited a movie that has been... It got a lot of buzz last year, but didn't translate into a lot of awards. And I thought it was pretty interesting and weird. It was called Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool, which I'll admit, that's a good title there. But it's about Peter... I knew I would forget his name.
Dinklage?
No, not Peter Dinklage. Peter Horn, I want to say his name is, who is a British actor who got involved in a love affair with film star Gloria Graham, who of course is very well known to noir audiences, but who also was in It's a Wonderful Life and some other things. Yeah. And she was much older when the two of them met, and he was much younger. The movie apparently portrays her as having rather a young taste in her partners. But she basically, the last couple of years of her life, she was spent involved with this guy, and he wrote a book about it called Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool, and the actual author did show up briefly at the end of the movie. But Annette Bening plays Graham, and Jamie Bell plays the actor, and Stephen Graham is in the movie, and there's some other good folks in there too. Julie Walters, of course, and it was pretty well done. It started off, I was kind of like, I don't know about this. But by the end, I was really feeling it. And I was like, this is a good movie. And Annette Bening got a lot of praise for her performance, as she always does.
Yeah.
But, and it was really funny because at the very, they play her as so flighty, and you're like, was she really like that? But then they end the movie with a clip of her winning her Oscar.
Oh.
And I don't know if you've ever seen this or whatever. She comes down the aisle. She comes down. She goes up. She grabs her award. Thank you, and walks right off the stage. It was like, it had to be one of the shortest. And Bob Hope's just sitting there like blinking, like. It was kind of funny, but it was pretty good. And then I finished Frederick Bachman's Beartown, which really good book. Really hard to read. It's very different from A Man Called Ove, but it's also very easy to read because the way it's structured, it pulls you in and drags you along. And I didn't realize until I finished it that he's already put out a sequel. I think it's called Us Against You, and I'm going to be reading that one soon. I'm looking forward to it. It's the kind of book where it's like, why would they make a sequel? Because they ended it so well. But on the other hand, they ended it in such a way that I could see a sequel. You know what I mean? It's like, And then the last one I'm going to mention, it may have actually been last week, but I didn't mention it last week, and I want to mention this. I finally revisited a show that's kind of a little bit of nostalgia for us.
You want me to get a copy for you to show?
Where is it?
And that's the old one.
I have the Sentai release of this. I don't even know who this is. This is DJ Shirat. Very strange, weird, fun little show about two aliens who take up residence in a gaming shop that they basically work, or is it comics?
It doesn't exist anymore now.
Yes, and the would-be idol who is their rival and co-worker. And it's a silly little show. Each episode is, 7 minutes long?
Well, it was commissioned by the gaming shop themselves. They did that as an advertisement.
And it actually, they spun it off into at least 4 other series.
Yep.
This original series takes just over an hour to watch from start to finish. And it's most notable, if nothing else, it is most notable as the inspiration for what is going to be the drink that makes me famous one day. Warm, fuzzy rice.
Warm, fluffy rice, Meow. It's It looked so yummy, like it was just cooking, yo.
Which, well, I can't remember who made that mistake first, but there's an episode that revolves around the character sitting around going, warm, fluffy rice, yo.
Yeah.
But warm, fuzzy rice is a great drink. It will be a thing one day.
So you need to do like
Yes.
a cooking episode where you make that drink.
Yes. And then a not safe for work episode where I recover from that.
And this one is a particular great one because it
Right.
was released by, I didn't like it the first time I saw it, by the way, by Broccoli, which is not really together anymore. But the store was Gamers, which is in Akihabara. Was in Akihabara, which is too bad that from what I've heard, it's closed down.
Yeah.
But these were the mascots for that store. Which is, it's fun that they got their spin-offs. It's kind of weird to see how that works in Japan.
Yeah.
So, I actually have covered ground. I've watched both seasons of 13 Reasons Why, and that is for work. I work in mental health, and this is something that is very prominent. Now, I have a little rant about that because we've seen suicide lately.
I don't want to go on a rant here, but America's foreign policy makes about as much sense as Beowulf having sex with Robert Fulton at the First Battle of Antietam. I mean, when a neoconservative defenestrates, it's like Raskolnikov filibuster deoxymonohydroxynate.
The hell does rant mean?
And 13 Reasons Why is all about suicide. Essentially, the plot line is that this girl can't take it anymore, commits suicide, but leaves these 13 tapes that she sends out to the people, and she says, this is why I did it. You did this to me, you did this to me, you did this to me. It's very well written. It does have a lot of good themes that can tell you that this was not, this is not just, yes, suicide, that's good. No. Just like the second one, you could almost say glorifies school shooting, which almost happens there. But again, it's not. But I want to put in a warning to those of you who are older and have children, especially teenagers, who would watch this. I have seen quite a few people to copycat this stuff. They don't necessarily want to, but they look at this and they say, all they gather from this, all they can get, because keep in mind, a lot of people who are in their young teens, in their mid-teens, they're only thinking at a concrete level. They're just starting to learn at an abstract level. So when they're looking at this, they're seeing that initial thing is like, if I'm mad, I will just attempt suicide and I will leave these notes and I will get back at every single one of the people I want to get back at. Because they'll all be blamed. And there have been several who have died because of this. Don't copycat. If you're going to have your children watch this series, watch it with them. Explain it to them. Explain why this is not meant to be emulated. That is really serious. I mean, we've had 2 high-profile suicides. We had Kate Spade. We had Anthony Bourdain. Suicide is not the answer. It's not a way to get back friends. It's not a way to get back at your boyfriend. It's not a way to get even with the world. It is the end. I cannot express how serious that is. That is the end. Game over. And people who try it and just do the whole cry for help thing, there are accidents that happen.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Stay away from that. And if you're the kind of person that's going to only see the surface of things, stay away from that series. If you're willing to sit there and you're willing to analyze it for what it is, then feel free to, or get somebody who is good at these things to explain it to you as they go along. That's my 13 cents about 13 Reasons Why. So, in other news, I did finally watch Shape of Water.
Mm-hmm.
My mother was over, and she wanted to see it. She actually did not care for it. She thought it was too violent, which is strange because she's interested in watching Deadpool.
I'm sorry. That part amuses me. Okay. No, I will admit, Shape of Water does have some pretty brutal violence in it. But yeah, that is kind of funny.
Yeah, like I say, when you add that extra part to it, it kind of makes it seem like, what?
Right. Now, granted, thematically, those two kind of fit together because Shape of Water is, supposedly it is, a love letter to misunderstood individuals. And yes, some of the individuals in the movie, no wonder they're misunderstood, but you know.
It is a very well told love story.
You know, it is. Yeah.
I need to watch it again because I didn't really fully get why it was Best Picture. So, I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong.
Fourth best.
But I don't consider Three Billboards good.
I put them almost on the same level. But again, I think Lady Bird was better, and Coco was so much better than any one of the three. It's not even funny.
So I never saw Lady Bird, so I can't really. I don't want to shell $20 out for the Blu-ray. So
yeah, I've been too cheap for that too. But more on the others in a moment. But anyway,
so on to something completely different.
Yes.
Speaking of violence, for those of you who have watched my Slime City review, you got to see a teaser at the end for what's to come, which is Plan 9. Many people have been asking me, when are you going to review Plan 9? They got to see my Skeleton Key reviews, and even the director himself had asked about, so when are you going to review Plan 9? It's a different taste. Different take.
Yes, a different taste.
It is much higher production value.
Right.
And they do appear to have a script.
Yeah.
So those are definitely different takes. I will not spoil things for you, though it is a remake, of course, of Ed Wood's Plan 9.
Right.
I've watched almost all of it now. I've watched the movie, and I've watched 90% of the special features. I just need to watch one commentary, and I am done and ready to do this review. For those of you who are waiting, I probably will have it done by the weekend. But just to say, there is one thing I can say positive about it now. The opening scene, if you've watched the original Ed Wood film, it is hilarious and probably the best part of the entire film. I can't... you'll hear more about this later.
Okay.
And I'm going to gain more insight when I listen to the commentary, get a better idea, looking for stuff I missed. I'm trying to give all of these things, when I review a film, I'm trying to give it the full attention, the full understanding, which is why with Slime City I sat through 2 commentaries. And I sat through a commentary for Slime City Massacre before I did the review.
Good times.
So, fun stuff, up and coming. And speaking of up and coming, in a different video, we have Beyond the Mat, which is a wrestling documentary about professional wrestling. Not the wrestling that they do in Greece. Actually, yeah, the professional wrestling, like Hulk Hogan. Well, they didn't get Hulk Hogan, but they did get some of them.
Ventura, right?
They got Jake the Snake. They got The Rock was on there briefly. Young Rock, but Rock. So I was actually very impressed with it. It was worth seeing, and Jesse Ventura was definitely in it briefly. He talked about how he moved over. He had just moved over to politics at the time. It is very interesting. You get a little bit more behind the scenes, a little bit more understanding as what these people go through, what they do. Now, if you are one of those people who is looking at it as like, wrestling is awesome, it's good to see a real sport where they fight for reals, stay away from this. Don't ruin the magic. But
go watch your MMA.
By the time this comes out, the discussion will already be up. But that is our discussion tomorrow or Tuesday, actually. So yesterday. Something
Funny
to say.
thing time.
But it's going to be interesting. I'm pretty sure of it. If we can get everybody on board, especially the one who actually did request this, I'm sure that we're going to get some expert analysis, and it will be worthwhile.
Yeah, it'd be kind of silly if he's a no-show and everyone else is kind of like, nah. Well, I'll be watching it probably tonight. My plan is to watch it tonight, and hopefully tomorrow I'll have a good, be ready to go.
I won't be meh. Actually, it was well worth the $5 I paid for the DVD.
Huh. So it'll be well worth the nothing I paid, so that'd be good.
Yeah. Well. So I guess you'll get to start us off with the
All right.
pickups.
Yeah.
And now for the event you have all been waiting for.
Yes. The great event. Actually, so this weekend, I learned, and I somewhat regret putting myself in a position to learn this, that Best Buy was going to have some really good prices. I thought it was a sale, but I tell you, if this was a sale, Best Buy is being really freaking sneaky about it. When I went in the store, they had only a handful of items with the red sale tags. They had a lot of things that said, was, now, showed the markdown. But they only had a few things with the sale tags. So I don't know if this was just a sale or if they did some major price cuts. But whatever the case, I feel like they were being kind of sneaky about it. But I picked up some awesome stuff. And some of it was not even what I went there to get in the first place. Most of what I found online, I found in the store at the same price or cheaper. But there were a couple I did not find Darkest Hour, which had been promised online. And there were a couple of others. And there was, I think one comes to mind that was more expensive, which was Batman Ninja.
Oh.
But I did learn something awesome. Batman Ninja does have the Japanese dub.
Oh, very good.
Yes. So I will be getting that. But I'm waiting for a really good price. Now, due to budgetary concerns, I did not get nearly as much as I wanted. But I got 5 items, so that makes awesome for 5 pickups tonight. The first one was not even listed online.
Oh.
And so I was triply shocked when I found it for $10. On Blu-ray, Season 5 of Arrow.
Oh, now we're caught up.
No, I don't have Season 4.
Oh, okay.
But I was not going to pass this up for $10 freaking dollars. That was an awesome price. They had a whole bunch.
Price.
They had a really good DC display set up, and some of them were really good prices, and I'll get to a couple more in a minute here. But I have much of Arrow. I still need Season 4. I still need to actually sit down and really start watching the show. But at this point, I can definitely justify launching into it soon. And I really hope I get the time to, because I want to see this. But again, I saw that and I was like, hell yeah. I don't care if it's a sale or not. I'm not missing $10.
It's a good series. I have not seen Season 5 yet. Mine's still sitting up wrapped, but I have seen the first 4 seasons, which is more than I can say for any other DC series.
And apparently this one does include the crossover between Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, and Supergirl. So I'll look forward to seeing that, because they made a big deal about that. Yeah.
So for me, I had one that was way back when Funimation did a sale. They did a good sale back then. And I saw this on Hulu. I started watching because I was thinking I'll just dig into an anime. I actually liked this series so much when I started watching this that I had to go ahead and pick up this thing here, which is Dagashi Kashi, which I admit the cover kind of made me just go, what the... But this is essentially about a guy who runs the son of a guy who runs a snack shop, basically a little convenience store in the country. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to write manga. Then enter this character. She's all about the snacks. She owns like a big snack corporation that makes them. And she wants the father to work for them because he knows everything that there is about that sort of thing. And the father said, well, only if you can get my son to take over the family business. So she decides to dedicate herself to showing him the wonder of Japanese snack food. Now there's 2 seasons to this so far. This is only season 1. But I'm hoping to see season 2 release sometime soon. Funimation usually releases their whole thing, not all the time, but as of late I haven't seen them drop anything mid-season. Because, I mean, last one they did that with was Case Closed, but that's been ages since they did that.
And I do want to see that. That one caught my attention when I first heard it. I was like, that sounds interesting.
I will let you go on ahead because I have a prop for the next one.
Okay, and my next one is one of the ones that got me into Best Buy in the first place. And it was in that DC display, and it was one of the ones that was notably cheaper than what I went in expecting. Their online advertisement that I saw said that I could get The Flash Season 3 for $15, which is a pretty good price. But $10 is a better price.
Yes.
And so when I saw that was $10, I was like, hell yeah. Now this one I do now have the first 3 seasons. I have watched season 1. I really want to get into seasons 2 and 3 sooner than later. I probably will get into this one before I really get into Arrow. But this is definitely a big pickup. I was real excited to get this one. And again, $10. I didn't even have to wait for Black Friday.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
I need to finish season 1.
Yeah.
So, I've been getting into a lot of indie directors and so on, and there's one group that I said, okay, I'll throw funding to. They made a movie called House Shark. So I also looked, and they had 2 other films, and you could do them with stretch goals, and they came signed. So I got a movie here called Clay, which there was only one of these when it came to this, and it was for only one. I had to buy something else, and this is when I was spending more money than I should because I didn't have any mortgage to pay. So now I have mortgage to pay, so I will be spending a heck of a lot less. But this one was rather cool looking. It's your kind of murderer type thing. I actually have one of the items used in the particular film, which is also signed by the I think director on it. It's 5th place trophy, so if you watch the film, you can see this thing, and it's over here now. And I do look forward to seeing this. This one's probably going to be one of the ones I will be reviewing sometime in the future. I do look forward to it. There's a lot of stuff. 2 commentaries. Well, I should hope to like to watch this, because I'll be watching it a lot if I'm doing that review.
Hey, Khalees. What is it, Khalees?
So, with that being said...
Okay. Now, continuing on with my DC theme here, there was another season of television that was $10. I couldn't believe my luck. I was like, this is pretty awesome.
$10.
And this one also was not listed online that I could tell anyway. But I now have season 3 of Gotham. I have seasons 1, 2, and 3 of this series. And unfortunately, we kind of drifted off from watching the show, so I fell behind on this one. But I still think it's a fun show. And this was the episode the season, really, I think this was the Mad City season, right?
Yeah.
The one that it really brought in the Mad Hatter and some of those other characters. It's a fun little show. It's not nearly as comic faithful to a degree. These are even not that faithful, but this one's way off into the ether. But it's still a fun show.
I forgot a news item.
What's that?
Andrew Lincoln is leaving Walking Dead.
Oh.
That's a slightly big news item.
Yeah.
When the main character leaves the series.
Which characters he play?
Rick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays the main
He's
character.
still alive?
He's still alive in the comics.
Oh, man.
So that's the last season.
You see how
that's
much
in.
I pay attention to Walking Dead. What season are they up to?
6-ish.
Okay.
They claim that they're just going
They
to keep
gotta
it going
be more
indefinitely.
than 6.
They say they're going to keep it going indefinitely. So,
Of course they will.
Now, we'll see how they do with that, especially without a main character.
Yeah, good luck with
This
that.
next season's going to be his last. And as I had predicted before, also, the person who plays Maggie is leaving, which that was understandable because she got another full-time job.
Yeah.
But she offered, and they said, no, you're a woman. We will not pay you equal to the male counterparts. And, well, she left. Good
Can't
for
say
her.
I blame her, yeah.
So, I talked about Bunny Man last time. So I went ahead and I have the other two here. Bunny Man Massacre and Bunny Man Vengeance. You know, one could say that this is where the film went off this is where things got less serious, but in reality, we're talking about a killer who dresses up like a bunny.
Yeah.
It already went off the rails a long time ago.
The bunny jumped the shark.
Who knows, maybe. I haven't seen these movies. But, you know, based on a true story.
Yes.
And a Virginia story at that.
Yeah.
If you're a Virginian and you don't know about Bunny Man, good for you.
We gotta have things to be proud of, right?
Yeah, exactly. We've got Bunny Man.
Okay. Yeah, so at any rate, one of the things that I ended up, there were a lot, on their DC display, two of the things they had listed online at $13 were actually 10.
Wow.
Were Suicide Squad Hell to Pay and Batman Gotham by Gaslight. I want those. I'm going to have to, if these are permanent price reductions, I'll get them in a couple
I
weeks.
might end up having to get those
Yeah.
if those are still on that.
But, and some of the others, like you mentioned Shape of Water. They had Shape of Water, I, Tonya, and 3 billboards marked down to 13 each.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I saw online that I almost went to get was the Pacific, was 15.
Wow.
So, if these are permanent price reductions, I will get them within the next month.
Shoot, that'll be
But
cheaper than
if
what I
they're-
got it for.
Yeah. And the biggest one, that Planet of the Apes trilogy, they had down to 24.
Wow.
Yeah. But the last two I ended up getting were two of the ones I went in for. This one, and it was down to $10.
Oh.
Yeah, which was cheaper than they promised online. So there's a lot of them that I wanted.
Go to the store. Don't
Yes.
go online.
There's a lot of them I want. Yes. But the one that was exactly the same price that it was online, that is one of the reasons I went in the first place. One of the most awesome movies I do not yet have, or did not yet have, from the last few years. I finally got a copy of Bridge of Spies.
Oh.
Spielberg film written by the brothers Coen, with Tom Hanks and an Oscar-winning Mark Rylance, along with Amy Ryan, Alan Alda, and some other folks. This is one of Spielberg's best films, and it's one of Tom Hanks' better roles.
I'm pretty sure. I know it got
and
some
it's-
Oscar love.
Well, Rylance won supporting Oscar. Everyone thought supporting actor.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
You know, a lot of people were surprised. They were like, "Oh man, Stallone's going to win," and I'm like, "No, he's not." And everyone's surprised. Oh, wow, Stallone didn't win. I'm like, "No, he didn't." But whatever.
Really?
Anyway, Rylance is awesome in this one. But I really genuinely, this was my number 2 pick for 2015. I think that was the year Spotlight came out.
Yeah.
So that was my number 1 pick. But so I finally have this one. It was $10,
I
which
still haven't seen
is
Spotlight.
good price.
Or that.
I need to watch my copy of Spotlight. I may watch them together. See, that'd be a good movie night.
Yeah, it would be.
But anyway,
So another one that would have been on the best, that I know was on the Best Buy sale for 20,
Yeah.
I believe.
yeah.
Which is funny because I also got this for 20.
Oh
from
yeah,
Amazon.
and they had the Sailor Moon R movie for 15. I was actually tempted
wow,
at that.
that is.
Yeah, but I have it.
But this, we were talking about, you talked about how the second
Yeah.
season was discontinued or is going to lose its license from Funimation.
Yeah.
So, Aniplex will just take it over to spite them all. He doesn't even have to own it. They just go do it so they can sell it for like $500 an episode.
Yes.
But this is Black Butler, Book of Atlantic. Now, they've been making it ever since 2, and then they decided to do a revival of it with Book of Circus and Book of Murder. They've been going back to the actual manga. Because the first season deviates from the manga towards the end. And so they're kind of retconning it, saying, no, that's not how it happened. And now they're just going into different storylines from the manga.
Are they actually retconning it or just telling these individual stories?
I think they're just telling the individual stories from the manga.
Yeah.
Though these stories would have happened as if the others did not happen.
Basically, season 1, because have you read the manga?
I have not.
I've actually read a good chunk of it at this point. The first season is pretty faithful to the manga up until the last story. And then they basically decided to end the series.
Did they have a werewolf character in that one like they had in the anime?
There's a werewolf who shows up in book.
It shows up in
I don't think it's any of the ones that have been adapted yet.
Okay.
So that may be the next story. They go to a hamlet in Europe, and I believe that took place after Book of the Atlantic.
Because I know that season 1 did have the werewolf character.
Yeah, I don't recall, and it may be a different character. I don't remember for sure.
I mean, I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought if they decided to end it like that, it was a decent end. I had no problem with season 1.
And then season 2 came along, and it was an obvious money grab.
Ooh.
But then they've decided, like, the manga went well beyond that, and the storyline I was just talking about, there's also Book of Circus, which is where Sebastian and Ciel infiltrate a circus to determine where missing children are. Book of Murder was basically a Sherlock Holmes murder mystery. And then Book of the Atlantic is basically the Walking Dead storyline. But on an ocean liner. So like think the Titanic as a Walking Dead episode, basically. And that's not entirely accurate, but that gives you a rough idea. And this one is just a movie, right? Like the other two were short series. Supposedly they're reasonably faithful to the manga, but I'm curious to see them. I'd like
minutes.
to. Yeah. One of these days.
Ooh, 4 extra minutes runtime.
Ooh.
It's like,
yes.
Oh, really? That's so wonderful. 4 minutes, huh?
Well, you never know.
So they like added a stinger or something at the end.
Right, right. Okay.
So, your last one for this time.
Okay, my last one is, again, one of the reasons why I had to go to Best Buy. And this one, strangely enough, was $1 cheaper than they promised online. It was advertised for $14, and I got it for $13.
I'd buy that for $1.
Exactly. But this is one of the rare Steelbook editions for my collection. One of last year's Oscar-winning movies that I wanted to get, but I wasn't going to pass up a Steelbook for $13. Dunkirk.
Hey.
Yeah. Good, solid, nice little movie there. If you have not seen it, it is an excellent film. I did think it was a little overrated. I do need to see this again and see if it changes in my estimation. It actually was one of my lower rated picks of last year's Best Picture winners. Nominees, you know what I mean.
Yes.
But and it's one of my lower rated Nolan films. But if I see it again, maybe I'll think a little differently of it. But it's still a really solid movie. And like I said, Steelbook for $13. Pretty cool.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Well, I actually do own Dunkirk, but not a Steelbook.
Oh.
But if you want to learn more about Dunkirk, you can always go back to our Academy discussions earlier in the year. Boy, it's hard to believe that it was earlier in the year. It feels like we did that years ago.
And also, you're always talking about your YouTube stuff. I don't get to watch as much other stuff as he does. But one of the ones I did check out this past week was Screen Junkies had a couple of fun ones up. And one of theirs was honest trailer for every Christopher Nolan movie
Yes, that was
ever.
funny.
That was pretty good.
Dawn.
And a very emotional Michael Caine. Because, yes, that is in pretty much everyone.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
My Sentai order was rather large. But not all of it came today. Only a little bit.
Oh, yeah, and I'll be presenting for mine next week. Something to look forward to.
I had 2 items come today, but I'll be presenting it as one because they're 2 seasons of the same series.
That whole box was just for those?
Yes.
Jeez.
They're big boxes.
Yes,
And I've been kind of lacking. He's been doing most of the special edition Sentai sets. I think I've got like 1.
We both got
2.
the Squid Girl, yeah. But you got one here I don't have.
Yes, this is so this is on that end, but it does make me have to get the 3rd one when it comes out, which is Food Wars. Season 1, Season 2, First plate, second plate. Oh gosh, heavy.
Look at those sets though; they're cool looking.
So at first I thought maybe they were wood because they're so expensive, but they're just cardboard. They're still like your standard chipboard set, but still rather nice sets, rather well shown. I mean, it's even got your little fork and knife.
So good you don't even have to open them.
And that's the thing; it's very different from me and him on this. Is I will not open a series until I've seen it. Or until I'm going to see it, I should say, because seeing it without opening it first would be difficult. But when I'm seeing it, then I will open it. I mean, a good example, I'll show these because I'm getting ready to look into this series, which is the Fukons. I've had this for ages. I've had this for years. Still, you can see the security tags on it. Because, again, I never watched them. So I want to make sure, it's a way for me to actually differentiate what I have watched and what I haven't watched. Because when you get a collection this big, they kind of blend in. Then I also have them turned down so that I know which ones I need to watch. So, but once I do open them, and it probably will be relatively soon, I will do an unboxing and I will show you what is inside.
Yeah.
So with that, I guess we will bid you adieu. So, comment. Anything fun that you came upon this week? Hopefully something good.
Yeah.
Share and subscribe. And we will see you. Goodbye. Here at the end of the video, Kotobuki Jake is not going to like this. Play the video clip.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got.